It is very common for hauntings to begin slowly and build to a frightening crescendo. We've seen it in famous hauntings like the Enfield poltergeist or infamous hauntings like Dear David. So when our researchers found a story on Reddit that appeared to show early signs of a paranormal incident, we were keen to analyse the situation. Redditor Brandy B posted a story of strange happenings in their parents' house and a plea for help to understand what was going on. Brandy B states that it all began one day when their mother noticed her jewellery box was lying upside down. They all brushed the incident off, saying she must have placed it that way by accident while cleaning, but since then there has been a slow and steady increase in suspicious activity. Candles, pictures and boxes have all been found in their original places but completely turned upside down. Then there were open cupboards, dangerously placed garden equipment and items rearranged. Brandy B's family suggested that perhaps there was a somnambulist among them, so they ordered a motion-activated camera and downloaded a voice-activated sleep-talking app, hoping to catch the sleepwalker in the act. Unfortunately, Brandy B's attempt to find a rational answer yielded considerably more distressing results. After leaving their phone in the kitchen overnight to record any noises, they woke up to find some very unsettling audio. Redditor Retro Intrigue suggested it sounded like the voice was saying Wassalam, which is Indonesian for peace be with you. However, the majority of people who heard the recording said it sounded more like a person speaking backwards. The recording was then cleaned up and played backwards, and it did indeed sound very different and considerably more clear. A female voice can be heard saying what many think sounds like, "I'm sorry baby sis, I'm sorry," the words being repeated over and over again. Brandy B's family are understandably distressed and have contacted several paranormal research groups to try and get to the bottom of this. The case is still very much ongoing, with Brandy B promising updates where and when they get them, stating that activity tends to happen every 3 to 7 days, so we will be checking the boards for further details. Brandy B mentioned that it all began with a jewellery box bought for their mother on Mother's Day. It comes from a consignment shop near Charlotte, North Carolina. As it is a second-hand object, this opens up the possibility of it having an attachment, some lost spirit that is inextricably joined to the jewellery box. However, there were many other changes, also mundane and without any apparent pattern. It makes it almost impossible to speculate on the cause or meaning behind them. So we decided to look further into the EVP. In the cleaned up reversed recording, most of our researchers just heard gibberish, although some could make out a few words that matched those from the comments. As we cleaned up the audio further, we found that the voice wasn't repeating the words, it was being replayed. The words were exactly the same for the entire recording. The sound's visual pattern was completely symmetrical throughout. Although the voice was the same, there were different background noises, and at one point there was an audible sniff in the recording. Brandy B claims that the clip was uploaded straight to Reddit without any editing, and they didn't isolate and repeat the words, so we theorised it is likely someone could be playing a recording from a device into the phone. In this post, there is so much we have to take on blind faith. Brandy B is aware of this and asks us whether we believe the story or not to just take it seriously, which is all any good ghost hunter can ask for. However, although the evidence is thin, there is just enough to keep us coming back. We are willing to see how it progresses, and we only hope that it does not end in a manner which causes further distress. And in other news of our paranormal world, mysterious booming sounds heard throughout the United States and abroad have continued to be reported into 2018. The violent explosive sounds often shake witnesses' homes and are sometimes preceded by strange flashes of light. So far, no comprehensive explanation exists for the booms. A missing Toronto firefighter inexplicably turned up 3,000 miles away from where he disappeared. 49-year-old Konstantinos Dani Philippidis went missing in early February while on a ski trip with colleagues to New York's Whiteface Mountain. Philippidis turned up a week later in downtown Sacramento with almost no memory of how he got there. The investigation into how and why the man travelled cross-country for seemingly no reason is still ongoing. A video posted February the 14th to the YouTube channel UFO Invasion appears to show several bright objects moving in an organised pattern over Alberta, Canada. Some skeptics have dismissed the objects as drones, while certain believers in the UFO phenomenon are convinced that the objects represent something far stranger. And finally, a huge thanks to everyone who checked out our Patreon and have decided to support us. Our first shout out goes out to James Sagstetter. Your support is hugely appreciated.